Today is November 2nd. It is the 27th day of the war between Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah. The Hebrew Israeli newspapers show the faces of the soldiers, the Israeli soldiers that have been killed in the ground operation the last couple of days. It's 16 soldiers. Here, the mother is in the funeral of her son, weeping. Here are faces of 2 soldiers that were killed just a couple days ago. These are many other soldiers that were killed yesterday, and together it's 16, while this morning 1 more soldier was killed named Yuval. The headline reads, Yemei Ke'ev, days of pain, Yemei Gdula, days of greatness. And the author writes of the death of this team of soldiers. This is, by the way, the last picture that was taken before they went in. And even though they died, the soldiers know that there's no other way but to go in and fight, because if they don't go in and fight and kill those terrorists will find themselves in the beds of the Israeli children at their homes. The Chief of Staff, Haramatkal, Hapeilut timashech v'titatzem, the activity in Gaza will continue and become stronger. And in the photograph, you see Israeli soldiers in Gaza looking out from a window. This headline reads that Israel is examining an option of letting the Hamas leaders out of Gaza, sending them off abroad, and also transferring the governance of Hamas to someone else in Gaza that are not terrorists, and the release of hostages. This is an option out of a few options that are seriously being discussed in order to bring to the fall of Hamas quickly. The next article is Neged ha'oyev, against the enemy, v'neged hashon, and against the clock, or against the time in English. The Israeli military officials are counting on a long and thorough work in Gaza, but the international trust, mitkatzer, is running out. There's tension between how long and complete can we do this groundwork, while there's going to be some pressure. It reads, Kim'at shavua, it's been almost a week since the ground operation has started in Gaza. And the public, Hatzibur, Yachol Lehavin, can understand a little bit better what the IDF soldiers are dealing with. Hamas terrorists are entrenching themselves under the ground of the hospital. On top of the ground, there are anti-tank missiles that are threatening and being shot. And sometimes all of that comes into collision together when terrorists come out of the tunnels, spot the IDF soldiers, come back down and send an anti-tank missile. The Hamas terrorists are also wearing civilian clothes, many of them, and they're hiding in civilian buildings. And quickly, they turn to a terrorist as they pull out their rifle and shoot. And it says that meantime, the political officials and the military leaders are united together in this war. So the tension is there. And in this photograph, we see D9s preparing the way for tanks in Gaza. The next headline is Hagiburim, the heroes, shelo yashuvu, that will not return. Mechir kaved minso, a very heavy price. 16 IDF soldiers were killed from the beginning of the ground operation in the Gaza Strip. And we know that up to date, it is 17 soldiers. Asif, it says he's 21 years old. And the quote that he told his father is this, Abba, al tidag, father, do not worry. Ein li kavana namut. I do not intend to die. Itai, Pedaya's father and grandfather were killed in a terrorist attack a few years ago. And there's 6 pages, it's a big part of the newspaper, of the soldiers that died together as a team on the tank when an anti-tank missile hit them. And they're heartbreaking stories, beautiful pictures. Ariel was about to get married. May their memory be blessed and their families find deep and true comfort. The next article is Waiting for Abba at Home. Mechakim le'Abba babayit. 27 yom biladehem, 27 days without them. Hamishpachot, the families that are waiting to reunite, להתאחד, and the children that are missing very much their fathers. In the pictures, we see 2 families out of 240 families that have their loved ones kidnapped by Hamas. And in these photographs, we see a mother and her daughter holding the father and the son that are still in Gaza. And here we see a mother and her 3 children holding a photograph of their father that is still in Gaza. Israel b'milchama, Israel is at war. Hachatufim adayin sham, the kidnapped are still there. We see here the daily segment called Chatufim, the hostages, with the yellow ribbon that symbolizes them. And here's the sister holding a picture of her brother, Omri, that has been kidnapped. The next headline reads, Bein Beirut le Tehran, between Beirut in Lebanon and Tehran in Iran. This is dramatic because Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, who is the leader of Hezbollah, but also he's the political and Islamic leader in Lebanon. He is going to speak tomorrow for the first time since the beginning of this war. And this is dramatic because Israel has to see what he has to say and declare. These are the main headlines in the Hebrew newspapers. We hope you got an inside look to what Israelis are reading. If you want more stories, please go to allisrael.com and follow us on social media and YouTube to get these stories out there. This is Rotem Magen for All Israel News.